Good morning, everyone. I am here today to explain to you how we can use the quick reads in our small group instruction for literacy. And the quick reads are published by Pearson. You have the smaller books in your classroom, which you use for guided reading. These are the workbooks that are put out by them. They are available on Amazon if you go on, and you can get them for a pretty good price used. And we have a lot of them already in the school, and we are trying to get the rest of them for you. They are leveled, levels A to G, and level A is billed to start beginning of second grade. I would be using it with first grade about this time of year, though. I would feel comfortable saying you could pull it down to first grade. Within the Quick Reads program, you have a set of 5 passages. The 5 passages are all linked together either by social studies or science content. So this would be your colonial America. You have the 5 passages. When you get to the end of the 5 passages, you are usually given some type of graphic organizer, a number of questions, including multiple choice questions, and then some short responses, a couple paragraphs that students might write. We recommend that you use these for fluency work. And then if you have some comprehension kids that you're working on those comprehension strategies, you could use them to extend with the questions at the end. You have in front of you the 10-day template. This was created by Amy Lorvadaya. It is an excellent way to use your quick reads, and Caitlin has been very nice to volunteer with a little coercion to be our student today as I show you how you can use this template. Now, you do not have to use it just with the quick reads. If you have other fluency passages you want to use, they fit right into the same type of structure for your small groups. So, if you're first grade and you're using Bonnie Klein, or even kindergarten towards the end of the year using Bonnie Klein passages, your Bonnie Klein passages highlight one specific phonics skill. So you look, and you're probably using them to teach that accuracy, that phonics, the short A sound. However, you can also pull them into your fluency work because you know your kids are comfortable being able to decode those passages, and you would have them fit this same template. So if you look at your 10 days, the nice thing with this is you're going to hit a lot of the different activities for fluency that you can do. Your partner reads, your timed reading, your choral reading, your partner reading, they're all built into your 10-day template. The 10 days, we have 5 passages that go for each of those main idea or concepts that you're looking at. So you're going to be looking at one passage for 2 days, then you move on to the next passage for the next 2 days. I would begin by giving my student a copy of the text. So Caitlin has a copy of What Do You Hear, which is what you have in front of you. And I would begin by modeling and reading that whole passage for this small group that's in front of me working on fluency. People also use their sense of hearing to know what is happening around them. A horn tells people to move out of the way. A cry means that someone needs help. And then you go on and you would finish the rest of the passage, and your students are listening. Then you would read the text again, and your students would chunk the text based on where the teacher pauses. So I'm going to ask you to take your pencils. Caitlin's going to grab her highlighter here, and you're going to chunk the text. And you will have to model this the first few times with your students. They're going to slash wherever it is that I pause and take a breath, usually. Now for these lower level passages, it usually is your ending punctuation. As you get to your higher level 5th grade passages, you do get more complex sentences where they will have to pause within the sentence too. Okay, here we go. People also use their sense of hearing to know what is happening around them. A horn tells people to move out of the way. A cry means that someone needs help. There are many sounds that people enjoy hearing. A bird's song tells people that spring is coming. A funny story makes people smile. Some people need hearing aids to help them hear the sounds around them. People who cannot hear use their other senses to stay safe. And then we would go through that as a group. Why did you chunk the text that way? And you'd have your whole group then chorally read that together using your chunked text. So hopefully your paper looks somewhat like this. I ended up chunking my paper right at the ending punctuation every time. So, very quickly, bear with me, you're the students here, and let's chorally read this together. People also use their sense of hearing to know what is happening around them. A horn tells people to move out of the way. A cry means that someone needs help. There are many sounds that people enjoy hearing. A bird song tells people that spring is coming. A funny story makes people smile. Some people need hearing aids to help them hear the sounds around them. People who cannot hear use their other senses to stay safe. And then you would do a lot of partner reading in this model too. So you would have your students in your small group, maybe you have 4 students or 5 students partner off. If you have an odd number, you're one of the partners. And they read the text chorally together, and then they time each other. Most days you're going to end, every other day at least, you're going to end with a timed reading where the partners time each other. Now we all know with kids, that might not be the most accurate timing. So as you go through here, and it says to get to time your partners, let them time each other, have them chart it. There is a chart in the back of each book. However, each time you come to the timed reading, you yourself as teacher are timing one of the students. And when I do that, I would mark that. Here's your time chart. I blow this up bigger for the kids. They write in their timing. When I do it, I write it in red, so that I can look through and I know that the timing that is written in the red pen is accurate because I did it, if that makes sense. If you continue on in your 10-day template, the next day you do more partner reading and timing, you provide feedback. It does have a few moments in here where it says the teacher asks a series of text-dependent vocabulary and comprehension questions. We know with Common Core we're pulling that into our work all the time. And that would be an ideal place if you are not having them fill this in, which for your fluency work, you're working on the time passages. You're really not spending time on this. You can just pull these questions yourself and insert them into the small group time. So they're not actually answering them on paper. As you scan down, you'll see that every 2 days, the same structure repeats. It is listed for day 1 of that 2-day cycle to be 25 minutes and day 2 to be 10 minutes. However, we know we don't have 25 minutes with those kids in front of us. So you're going to need to modify that a bit and make most of them about 15 minutes each. For that 25-minute section, instead of doing an extra choral read or timing it twice, I would cut it back there. I also tend to get a little bored doing the same thing all the time, so this is a great place. We've done our partner reading, our repeated reading, our timed reading, our choral reading. I would also put in an echo read here, which is where the teacher reads one of those phrases and then the student echoes it back and reads the phrase. They read the next phrase, then the student reads it, just for a little variety. Any questions? And let's turn this off so we can really ask our